Hello everybody and welcome back once again. I'm here with another edition of Inside the Headset, Week 2, Game 3. I'm with the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. Coach Thomas McDaniel joins us via conference call. Coach, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Stuart?
I'm doing really good. Coach, you played White Station last week, came away with a win. Talk a little bit about that game.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, it was a great trip for our kids. Obviously, White Station is a tough opponent. I think probably tougher than a lot of people realized when we were going into the game. But kids handled the trip very well. We did a lot of good things in the game, did some things that we got to get fixed. But all in all, I was very pleased with our performance. And, I don't think the score was really that indicative of kind of how the game went. So, for the most part, very pleased.
Well, White Station, are they a team if they continue on playing the way they're playing? And I'm not meaning as a losing team. I mean more so in the way they handle themselves. Do they have a chance to be there after 10 games?
Yeah, most definitely. I think, the first part of their schedule is brutal from the standpoint that they opened up with they opened up with South Tanola, and then they play us, and next week they have Whitehaven. So I would say it's one of the tougher three-game stretches that you could, come up with in high school football. So they definitely are a good football team, solid at every position. It's just that the first two and obviously the third one are all, tough opponents and very challenging for them.
So they'll have to crawl out of their own situation just like we do over there, whereas I guess on the east side of the state, that road may be a little easier in our eyes as we picture it. Would you not say?
Yeah, it is. I mean, most definitely. I would say right now most people would tell you they're the second best team in that area in the public school sector behind Whitehaven. And, you'll probably know a little bit more about that after this week when they play Whitehaven. But they're definitely talented, athletically as talented as anybody will play all year. And like I said, we did a lot of nice things, but we've got some things we got to get fixed, and that's to be expected this early in the season.
Coach, you did say you saw some things you liked. What were some of the things, if you could talk about them in generalization, what were some of the things, because if you didn't travel to Memphis, what are some of the things that you could tell the fans about that the Oakland team you felt like executed on really well?
Well, I mean, I think, first and foremost, just the way we handled the trip. It's a 4-hour ride. It's an all-day affair trying to get to Memphis. And so having to, get on a charter bus, drive to Memphis, do a walkthrough, have 2 meals. There's a lot of things involved in that with a 16-year-old kid. There's a lot of room for error, if you understand what I'm saying. So that was a positive because I thought we were very businesslike in our approach. And then also, as far as the game goes, a total different environment than what we're used to playing in from the standpoint that not nearly as big of a crowd. The field conditions were poor to say the least. And, obviously, offensive support, I was very impressed. I mean, I would say we had, several hundred people there, but just a different environment. So sometimes kids can handle that in the wrong way. Our kids didn't let it bother them a bit, and went out and executed very well offensively. Had some silly penalties early that cost us on some drives and one turnover. But other than that, I thought we did some really good things offensively, and defensively I thought we played outstanding. So, again, a lot of things we can build on moving forward.
So you're telling me from a maturity standpoint, just basically going through a travel and stuff like that, you thought your team grew up a little bit from the time that before they caught that bus and then as they went over, played the game and come home?
Absolutely. I mean, I have high expectations for our guys. They understand that there's a certain way we have to go about doing things. And like I said before, I'm probably a little bit old school in my approach. But, they understand what I expect out of them. And we handled the trip about as well as I could have expected. Everything went extremely well, very organized, very businesslike, our men's approach to the way they handled the game. So I think that was a learning experience, something to try to reflect on and see where we're at as a team, and I think it's indicative of the leadership we have because we got a great group of young men that understand what's expected and do things the right way. So all of that, was good to see, considering that they're 16, so they're going to make mistakes. They're going to do things that you don't want them to do. And really, last Friday night, I didn't have a lot of problems with anything that occurred.
Good. Well, let's move to something you probably want to talk about. Your first home game. It'll be good to get back at your home campus and operate out of your own locker room and everything. Let's talk about your opponent, and it's no stranger. Siegel Stars, very high-powered offense. They came away with a win against the Ottawa Owls, and now they're coming to Oakland Patriots. They're coming to the stadium Friday night, and let's talk about Greg Wyant's Siegel Stars.
Well, I mean, they're Siegel. I mean, they're explosive offensively, extremely talented at all the skill positions. Probably don't have the depth that they had last year, having to play a lot of guys both ways. But it's Battle of the Boulevard or whatever you want to call it. Bottom line is for us, it's an opportunity to play one of the best teams in the state. It just happens to be a team in our district and also happens to be a team that, quite frankly, drummed us last year. So all that being said, there's a lot at stake. It's our toughest test to date. And, as you go through the season, you want to have bigger challenges. We obviously have had two great challenges. This will be the biggest of the three for any number of reasons. And I'm excited for our kids. It's a chance, people ask me about the revenge factor and all that stuff, but it's 2013. It's not 2012. It's two different football teams. But I'd be lying if it's not in the back of our heads. We understand what happened last year, and all the pageantry aside, we have to go out and play the game. And if we're going to have a chance to win that football game, it'll be one up front. And I think that's the nature of football. That's the beautiful thing about the game that a lot of times gets left out is ultimately, most of the time the toughest team's going to win. And, we want to go bloody their nose. I'm sure they're going to try to bloody ours. But, we're ready for a fight, and it'll be exciting because that's what we're geared to do. We're not sure that everybody likes playing our style of football. Siegel proved last year that they were, dynamic and explosive and all those things you can associate with 50-point games. And we're going to try to turn it into a different kind of ball game, and hopefully that's successful for us. But we won't find that out until we get to Friday. So we're jacked up, we're excited, and we're just we're very fortunate and blessed for this opportunity.
Injury-wise, Coach, how you look? How's the team look as far as injury-wise coming out of the White Station and moving toward this Friday night?
Well, again, we're in a place right now where we're very fortunate. We don't have many injury issues at all. Honestly, there's nothing I can speak of that's game-changing. We're just we've been very fortunate to this point, and hopefully we can keep that, golden horseshoe or whatever it is. But right now we've been very lucky.
One final question, and then we'll wrap it up. Progression of your quarterback and everything, does he seem to be getting more settled in and used to being the ringleader as far as running that offense? I know you had said earlier in the season in some other media outlets that you were looking for him to step up and be more of a leader and not, and just take a hold and be a quarterback.
Well, there's a lot into that question. I think ultimately one thing I've learned throughout the last couple of years is that leadership, natural leadership is hard to find. It doesn't matter. Every kid's personality dictates that they lead in a different way. So, we've got some great leaders on our team right now, but a lot of them aren't very vocal, and that's just personality, The good news for us is that, I really don't expect our kids to lead as long as they do what's expected of them. And most, like I said, our group of young men right now are doing everything we ask of them, and that's all that really you can, want from a team. The thing I'll say about Rhett is he understands his role. He's trying to do the best job he can of leading offensively and facilitating where we need him to. He did some good things Friday night. He made some big plays. And, really, a lot of his big plays were very. They weren't high risk throws. They were very high percentage throws. They were off of our play action game, which should be successful for us. And he was able to, handle those plays very well. So different things we got to improve in. He was only, I think, 5 of 13. But that being said, we had a couple balls that were dropped. They played straight man coverage because they dared us to throw it. But the truth of the matter is, most people are going to play us up close because they're going to stack the box and try to take away our run game. So again, all that being said, we were pretty pleased with the quarterback's play.
Well, I just know it's one of the things that's very important as you move through the season, if you're going to make a run at the playoffs and at the ball. So anyway, with all that, let's wrap it up. Friday night, first home game at Oakland Patriot Field. I suggest you get there early like me, and I'll be the man on the mic for that one. That's the Oakland Patriots and Siegel Stars. We'll see you there.